Hey guys, how's it going? What's new? What's happening? So tonight I was going to cook up a bourbon chicken. It sounded really amazing. It's got, it's kind of a blend of two different things. Basically what it was is it was a stir fry dish that was, had a Louisiana twist put onto it. It comes from Bourbon Street, so a New Orleans style to be more specific. Twist to it by adding the bourbon to it, and it just sounds really good. And as what's held true for the last few weeks, this is another weeknight, like right around 30-minute meal. Doesn't take long. There's like a few parts. It's got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 14 ingredients, but they're all really realistically stuff you should have already, especially if you cook or bake with me. But anyhow, if you're new, welcome. If this is your first video, I hope you get something out of this, and you check out some of my other videos. Even consider subscribing to the channel. Growing our channel is important. What it does, it grows our neighborhood. Not even so much my channel or our channel for that matter, but it grows our neighborhood, which is based around food and, being a good neighbor, being polite, being cool, offering a hand. I was talking to some guys at work the other day, and I said, the only way I will ever judge somebody, especially when I first meet them, is will they help me change my tire or not? That's all I really care about in a person. Will they help me if I'm broke down on the side of the road? That shows somebody your character, right? So that's kind of what we're about. That's part of being a good neighbor. We just do it around food, all aspects of food. So that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, notification bells right next to the subscription button, and that way you know when I come out. I never take your guys' time for granted. That's something that you give to me that you can never get back, and that's amazing. It makes me feel like $1 million. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get down to the counter where we can start cooking this dish. All right, hold on for me just one moment. Okay, so we're down here at the counter. All right, and as I go, I'll tell you what we have and how much we have of it. So the first thing we're going to look at is we want to start heating up our pan, right? Just getting it nice and warm. Because if you're using cast iron, start warming it up, because we're going to make this thing blazing hot. And you don't want to go cold to blazing hot all at once, or you could crack your cast iron. So right now I just got this warming up. And in this bowl here, after we got that warming, I have 2 pounds of, which is like 2/3 of a kilo, 3/4 of a kilo of chicken. And I diced it, well, I didn't dice it up, I cut it into cubes, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. The recipe I got this from, where I got the base of this recipe from, I changed it a little bit. Like I'm using chicken breasts, she used thighs, but she said that breasts were okay too. We're just not a dark meat family. We like it, but we prefer breasts when it comes to, I like dark meat if it's fried. But I prefer breast when cooking. So anyhow, that's here and there. I got 2 pounds of chicken, cubed, 1/2 inch, 3/4. And on this, I am going to put 2 tablespoons, 18 grams of cornstarch. If I can get it all out of the bowl there. And then I've got 1 teaspoon? No. 1/2 teaspoon, 2 grams of kosher salt, and 1/4 teaspoon, 1 gram of ground black pepper. And we're gonna put that in there. And then we're gonna mix this up. Okay, we got that all mixed up. We got the chicken coated, because we're about to fry this. It'll be a light fry, in just a little bit of oil. But we want to get this nice and coated, and what this does, it gives it a crispness to the chicken. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. Our pan is warming up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick this up to a medium high. And in the pan, first thing is going to be a 1/4 cup, 62 milligrams of oil. I'm using veggie oil. You want something that doesn't have a whole lot of flavor in it. You don't want the flavor of the oil. but we're gonna put that in there. We're just gonna use this for frying. Okay, we got our oil in there, and now what we have to do is let this get nice and hot. That way we can fry this. So once this starts smoking, dancing, you know, doing a little jig in there, we'll go ahead and start putting our chicken in, and we're going to want to do this in 2 batches, okay? That way, because we don't want to crowd the pan. So let's get this heated up and we'll start frying. Okay, I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but we are got some smoke going on there, and we are rippling in every corner that we have. So we're going to go ahead and start putting our chicken in here, and we're just going to do it a little bit at a time. Sorry, forgot the tongs. Like I said, we're just going to do a little bit at a time. That way we don't overcrowd it, and we can get this cooked on all sides. It would help if it came apart a little bit better. It will. So let me go ahead and get these done. Chicken, it's going to vary, but I'm going to say roughly about 6 minutes per pan full, because you're going to want to flip them. Make sure we brown all 4 sides. Get out of the pan, we set it aside. Now we're going to make our sauce this is going to go in. So the first things we need to do is turn our pan down to a medium, right? We don't need it that hot anymore. We're not making chicken golden brown. So we're going to take I've got 3 cloves of garlic, which is about 12 grams, and I've got 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, which is right around 14 grams. And that'll vary depending on the size of the clove of your ginger, or the cloves of your garlic. But the ginger is about an inch and a half's worth of root. So we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna let this cook for just like maybe 30 seconds to a minute. We want to get it flavorful, toasty, you know, warmed up and alive, but we don't want to burn it, so you want to keep it moving. All right, so I can smell the ginger, I can smell the garlic. So now we're going to start adding sauces to it. First thing I'm going to add to this is a half a cup of soy sauce. Soy sauce, 125 milliliters. I'm going to add 1 cup, 250 milliliters. I'm sorry, 125. Yeah, 250 milliliters of chicken broth. I'm going to add a half a cup of apple juice at 125 milliliters. So the 1 cup of chicken broth is 250. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup or 62 milliliters of my favorite bourbon. Use your favorite bourbon. This is what makes it bourbon chicken. There are recipes out there that don't have the alcohol, but the alcohol itself will burn off, and we'll just be left with the flavors. All right, which is what we want. So make sure you use a bourbon that you like if you like bourbon. And then we're going to add a half a cup, 110 grams of brown sugar. And last but not least, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar at about 27 milliliters. Now we're going to bring this up to a simmer and then let it cook. We're going to let it simmer for till it reduces to half. So I'm going to say maybe 5 minutes, but we just want it to simmer. We don't want to boil and then simmer. Just simmer. Let it simmer till it reduces to half. Okay, so we've reduced it by about half. I'm going to take a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, which that's an option, and I'm going to put that in there. I don't want. Although like me and Sarah and Chris could eat more than that in our dish, Abby can't, and you know, plus a little bit goes a long way. So while that's continuing to simmer, I have got 1.5 teaspoons or 6 grams of cornstarch in here, and I have got 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar at 27 milliliters also. Is that right? Oh no, I'm sorry. This is 1 tablespoon of chicken stock, about 15 milliliters. And I'm gonna put that in there. I don't know what I was thinking. We used the vinegar. We're gonna put this in here. We're gonna make a slurry. You want to try to never, I don't want to say you don't ever, because I have, I'm not thinking, but you want to try to never put your cornstarch in whatever it is you're trying to thicken up first. You always want to mix it with something else. That way it doesn't clump, because cornstarch can clump. So then we're just going to pour this in there like that, give it a good stir, make sure everything's combined. And then we're just going to let this continue to simmer for about another 2-3 minutes and let it thicken up. Okay, so we've let that thicken up and simmer for about 3 or 4 minutes. You know, that way I ensured it was, you know, thick. And now all we have left to do is one more step other than let it cool for a minute afterwards. And that's just add our chicken in. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give this a good stir, get the chicken coated. I mean, the smell is incredible. And then once we get this coated, we want to warm the chicken back up and give it a chance to all mingle and get to know each other. So we're going to let this heat back up, run for another 2-3 minutes, and then we can serve, I think. All right, I'll be back in just a minute. All right, so we got her off the stove top. The sauce is thickened up nicely. The chicken is coated. Go ahead and maybe grab this real quick so I can show it to you. Leave the spoon in it, why not? But there we are. That is what our 25-30 minutes worth of cooking and prepping did for us. And when we first started, before we hooked up and started talking, I went ahead and started my rice, because I cook it in a rice cooker, and sometimes it takes about 40 minutes, and I didn't want it to, you know, be forever, and it'll keep it warm for like an hour after it's done. But I got my rice done. I'm using a basmati rice. Use any rice you like. That just happens to be my favorite. And we'll just take some of that, put it over top of it. And you have a couple options for toppings. You can use scallions, which I have some. I just didn't cut any up. What were some of the other things they recommended? Scallions or something else. Oh, sesame seeds. Some toasted sesame seeds. That would be good, wouldn't it? And I actually have some here, and I don't have to chop those up. Maybe. Yep. Right there we are. Toasted sesame seeds. Go ahead. Scoot this over to the back. There is that. Yeah, you have to forgive my towel. My hot pads disappeared. We'll grab some sesame seeds, throw that on there, and look at that. That is just looking delicious, right? You can't argue that one bit. So now all we gotta do is taste it, see what it tastes like, right? You know, that's the important thing. If it tastes horrible, we don't ever want to make it again. But I don't think it will. I know my kitchen smells amazing. The dining room smells amazing by default. It looks good, smells good. We're 2/3 of the way there, right? So all we got left to do now is just taste it. Get some more chicken in there, a little less rice. That's the bomb. And I'm sitting here eating the first piece going, oh wow, that is amazing. The flavor is so rich. And they said this was a fall dish. They might know this is an anytime dish, and it's a quick dish, which means it won't be all day heating up your kitchen. I would maybe add some broccoli to it, you know, or a green bean of sorts, or, you know, this is screaming, put vegetables in me. Onion would be good. But that being said, in and of itself, you could side this with about any Asian side dish, or even just a bread of sorts would be good, or on its own. Either way, in a bowl with a glass of whatever your favorite drink is, I think it'd be another good way to go. Give this a try. I mean, you can. That is such a rich flavor in that sauce. I mean, and I can taste the notes of the bourbon I used. I used Four Roses bourbon. It's one of my favorite. I don't buy it very often because it is kind of pricey, but it is one I enjoy immensely. And it's also what I had on hand. And that, but try it with the bourbon. You know, because like I said, it burns off the alcohol, so you're not going to get anybody drunk. But I couldn't imagine not having that in there. Between that and the soy sauce and the brown sugar for the sweetness and the apple cider, man, you just, it's like you taste the heaven in every bite. So give this a try. Let me know if you do. Leave me a comment down below, or find us on Facebook. It's Mr. Smith's Kitchen's Facebook group, and let us know there. Or if you do something a little different, you have a recipe for this. Maybe you're from the South and this is very common in New Orleans where you lived. Who knows? But let me know. Either way, tomorrow I have no idea what we're gonna do for dessert. But I'll figure it out between tonight or tomorrow. Something's gonna hit me. I really don't know. But like I said, it might even be something easy. I need easy. We've been doing a lot of complicated around here lately, cooking wise, and at least on a personal level. And easy would be nice, but we'll see. All right, till tomorrow. I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you, and I'm glad you stopped by. Tell somebody else you love them and that you love them very much. It's going to make them feel better. It's going to make you feel better to tell them. And if you make them some of this bourbon chicken, put it over rice for them, that's a good conversation starter that could lead to a wonderful evening of fun. All right, I will see you tomorrow for dessert. Till then, love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.